If you're looking for business funding and you have at least a 617 credit score, which is super low, watch the entire video. You might qualify for this program. I didn't even believe 617 was the lowest when I heard about it. So basically, I spoke with one of my BRMs at BMO, and I just wanted to share with y'all, what we talked about. And this program is basically for people that have as low as a 617. So it's based off of like average off of a lot of data. So I won't say that you should have a 617. Obviously, you should have at least a 700 plus, but this is just possibly giving somebody second hope that's looking for business funding. If you're minority owned or if you're woman owned, right? I've spoke about BMO in the past, but it's always good to put out new videos here and there. And I literally just spoke with him today. So let's get straight to it. So our mission is to help fund $1 billion to small business owners. So pay attention. As you get funding, as you work with us and get your funding, you help fulfill our mission. So I'm hoping that this video can touch you and hopefully you can get your funding. So BMO is obviously the bank that we're talking about, and they pull TransUnion, by the way. So one thing you got to realize too is you don't have to have a business checking account with them before you move forward, but what they'll ask is that you give them 3 months of bank statements from the bank that you do have if you don't bank with them. So one thing too, so my BRM was telling me one thing too about all this. This is my conversation with the BRM. If you're watching this video later on and things change or whatever, don't be in my comments saying, "Oh, it's this and this," right? This is us speaking like literally today. Things are always changing, right? So keep that in mind. So business a checking account, if you want like a $350 bonus, you basically have to have a balance of 4 to 25K in a business checking account for 90 days. Keep the average daily balance. If you want the $750 bonus, you got to have the balance of at least 25 bands in there for 90 days. So if you just want free money, free bonus, if you're going to get your funding, you're moving things around, you might as well, right? So just keep that in mind. Good practice too, we talked about is just to have everything that you would need anyways for the line of credit because it's possible that they may ask you for extra stuff even if you're just applying for the business credit card. Like typical banks, you're not going to need as much info or requirements for the business credit cards, but it's just good practice to have everything, right? Just be as prepared as possible. So business credit card, they got a business platinum that's 0% interest for 12 months. It goes up to a $50,000 limit. In branch, they have exposure up to $100,000. So that could be a combination of $50,000 credit card you get approved, 50K a line of credit. And also the process, it's typically like an instant situation, but that's like a preliminary approval. And what would happen is that it would go to underwriting. So my BRM works with underwriting. So, like, let's say you're doing it and you don't got no relationships, right? So, this is basically how it would go. You'll apply, and then it would typically be like an instant answer, and then they'll do their actual due diligence, right? So, just keep that in mind. And if it's over like the 100K, like let's say you want to get over 100,000 on the line of credit specifically. So that's obviously going to exceed the 100K exposure. I got a different BRM for that, but you'd have to work with someone at that level basically. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about a business line of credit checklist. So 3 months of bank statements, like I mentioned earlier. If you're not with the BMO, you're going to need 2 years of personal and business tax returns. And then he also mentioned that you'll basically have to fill out the 4506T tax return transcript request form. So that'll be pretty simple. And then the program that I'm talking about, that's a new program. It's a zero barriers program for the line of credit. So this is for minority or women-owned businesses. So it's got to be at least 51% ownership. So if you're a woman or you're a minority-owned business, I typically have minority-owned business owners. I got a lot of people I'm about to basically take over there, right? And just keep in mind too, this is in Florida. So if you're watching this and you're in Florida, I might be able to, help you get access to that funding. It may just depend on your location. Because I got like maybe around 10 clients I'm trying to work with right now, but they're not all located in the same place in Florida, so we gotta figure that out. So just keep that in mind. If you are interested, you can go ahead and book a call. It's not just BMO that I have a relationship with. Obviously, I've spoken in the past, Chase, Citizens Bank, etc. So just keep that in mind. So credit score requirement for this zero barriers program. this is like a second chance at getting funding. Like if you don't qualify for the traditional way, right? The credit score requirement, 617. I literally thought he said 670 when I was like speaking with him on the phone. I had to ask him to clarify. I said, did you say 670 or six like what? So he said 617, 617. So the regular program is obviously 680. You know, they typically want you to have that. So like I said, it's like a second chance program if you're minority owned. And they basically allow a higher DTI, just to give you a breakdown of what it is. They allow a higher DTI versus the traditional guidelines. And then they can lend up to 30% in revenue of the business. So some banks like KeyBank can lend up to like 10%. I think Chase is like 20 to 25% that they can lend up to in terms of revenue. So they're more lenient, right? The decision usually happens same day, but like I said, it's going to be preliminary before it goes to underwriting. And then also, you request your credit card limits. So, you know, typically how you would apply. Well, I don't know. I know that's how it is through my BRM. I don't know if that's how it's going to be all the time, but I know you're going to request your limit. So it goes up to 50K. And, you know, they could obviously counteroffer and be like, okay, you qualify for 20K or whatever, right? So you might as well shoot for the stars, in my opinion. So that's after they talk with underwriting. If you're going about this, I would recommend that you know someone already in the bank. You know, my plug, obviously I know. So, you know, I don't want to say too much on here. So it's not just sweet. Obviously, you have to take into consideration, you know, NACE's code and nature of your business. Obviously, debt, you know, P&L, all that, which is why done for you business funding is a thing. And I feel like it'll always be a thing because everybody won't always be as educated as far as what to look for on these applications. Majority of business owners, probably like yourself, you're just focused on running your business and getting your business to the next level, right? So you rely on experts like myself and people that, you know, study under me as well, just to be able to get you the best results. So that's what that is. So, like I said, I have access to two BRMs at different levels. So the one I spoke with, he's the one that deals with the lending up to 100K. So probably if everything looks good, you qualify, you can get up to a $50,000 card and an up to $50,000 line of credit, and you don't have to go the traditional route. You can literally go the zero barriers program. If you qualify, if you have a 617. Ideally, you're gonna have over a 700 score anyway. So I just wanted to put this video out to not only give y'all that may have bad credit like a second chance, but also let y'all know like if you do overqualify, you have a chance to you have like multiple chances to be able to get access to the capital essentially. So I got a different BRM, like I said, that deals with lending higher than 100K line of credit. So if you're a seven, eight plus figure business, that's where you would fall in, and you know we can connect you with that as well. So if you want my help, so that you don't get baby ass limits, and if you live in Florida, anywhere in Florida, you know we just have to kind of figure out where would be the area. If you live in Florida and your business is incorporated in Florida, book a call in the description, right? If not, you know, take advantage of the information. Go ahead and get you some funding. If you want my help and my company's help to get you the best funding, keep watching the funding videos on my channel. Or, you know, you could just come and get with us and then get yourself to the next level. So with that being said, y'all have a blessed one.